Smoking is injurious to health. Smoking causes cancer. धूम्रपान स्वास्थ्य के लिए हानिकारक है. धूम्रपान कर्क रोग का कारण है.
Higher beyond the sky, far from anguish and cry of people in distress. What is he doing? Have any guess? He is searching for peace, solution for us. Of those who make a fuss, making a mountain of trivial matters, for the illusion of gain, causing lasting harm and pain. To damage the world, country is called to the waste bin. Help him. Help him. Laugh aloud. Don't regret. Join hands. Look for him. Help him. Laugh aloud. Help him. Don't regret. Help him.
Calm down, calm down. No need to calm down. Too close to the sun, pull back, pull back. You're going too close. You're going too close. Ah, Alpha Bravo Center, back off. Hello? Why are you all silent? What's wrong? I see. You see a different person. I'll explain to you. A little while ago, this capsule went a bit too close to the sun, and the radiation and heat from the sun burnt half my beard off. I had to take the other half off myself. Even I'm getting, it's taking a little time even for me to get used to it, yes. But I'm sure you will.
Sir, you've been up there so long. Have you gained something?
Have I gained something? Well, what is gain?
To make money, enjoy, have profit.
My dear, gain, profit, enjoyment, these are momentary illusions.
Why, sir? Isn't it good to be happy?
Happy? What is happiness? What is happiness without mental peace? Let me tell you a story. India was still under British rule. About 130 years ago, a young lady called Margaret Elizabeth Nobel lived in Ireland. Now, even as a child, Margaret Elizabeth was independent, had a mind of her own, and often dared to sneak out with her grandfather to distribute clandestine newspapers. She was obviously a rebel at heart. She fell in love at the age of 21, and when she was around your age, the man was an engineer. They were happy together and might have lived happily ever after, but But misfortune has a way of interfering with happiness. The man was struck down with tuberculosis and soon succumbed to it. Margaret was shocked, but over a period of time got over her grief. Soon she was emotionally involved with another man. However, this time in her history, emotional happiness was not in her stars. The man ditched her. She thought her life had no meaning. She had almost given up, but not quite. She was no ordinary lady. She ran a school of her own and was a trained teacher of exceptional gifts. Later she was one of a group of educationists who founded a literary circle which later came to be known as the Sesame Club, of which she became secretary, where she met quite regularly with literary luminaries like George Bernard Shaw, Thomas Huxley, Barry Yeats, H.G. Wells, the man who wrote The Time Machine. Though completely successful in her own right, there was an element of restlessness about her. On a particular winter evening of 1895, she was persuaded to attend a lecture. She, for the first time, heard Swami Vivekananda.
And then, what happened to her?
She found a purpose in life. That's what happened. After which, she came to India and became, yes, Sister Nivedita, the dedicated.
Wasn't she a freedom fighter?
I guess, yes, in a way she was a freedom fighter. She had a free mind and loved freedom. Freedom from the shackles of British rule. Freedom of education. Freedom to develop in the field of science, arts, culture, and freedom for women.
Nothing comes free. She must have had a purpose.
Of course she had a motive, but her motives were quite different from what you think. Not to gain, but to give.
Give? Give what?
Share knowledge, education, guidance, and to follow the religious path of Swamiji.
Religion? What religion?
Swami Vivekananda said, religion is to be realized, not only heard. It is not in learning some doctrine like a parrot, neither is it mere intellectual assent. That is nothing, but it must come into us. Let us understand this. And the more we understand it, the less we shall have of sectarianism in India. For it is only that man who has realized God and seen him who is religious.
So you have to see God. Have you met him yet?
Ah, yes. That's a tricky question. The same question Naren asked Thakur. He too was a disbeliever. Roll Sienna Victor, Juliet 64861.
মনে আছে অধ্যাপক হেস্টি সাহেব ওয়ার্ডসওয়ার্থের এক্সকারশন পড়াতে পড়াতে
I have only met one person who has experienced that blessed state of mind, and he is Ramakrishna Paramahansa of Dakshineshwar. If you go there, you can see him for yourself.
হ্যামিল্টন বলছেন a learned ignorance is the end of philosophy and the beginning of religion.
অর্থাৎ
অর্থাৎ কি না
দর্শন শাস্ত্র পড়া শেষ হলে মানুষ একটা পণ্ডিত মূর্খ হয়ে যায়, তখন ধর্ম ধর্ম করে ধর্মের আরম্ভ হয়।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি গুড। কেমন বললুম, হ্যামিল্টন ঠিকই বলেছে গা। ওই কলসি যতক্ষণ ফাঁকা ততক্ষণই বুক বুক করে আওয়াজ দেয়, ভর্তি হয়ে গেলে আওয়াজ টাওয়াজ সব শেষ, পূর্ণ কুম্ভ। কত জানে, দেখলে দেখলে লরেনের কাছে তর্ক করেছো কি একবারে যুক্তি তরোয়াল দিয়ে কচকচ করে কচু কাটা করে দিলে।
গুরু গুরু বিশ্বাস বিশ্বাস বলে লাফালেই হবে? বিচার করতে হবে না? জ্ঞানের কোষ্ঠী পাথরে ঘষে ঘষে যাচাই না করে মেনে নিলেই হবে?
নরেন্দ্র তো ঠিকই বলেছে, নরেন্দ্র ঠিকই বলেছে। গুরু সাধু এদের সব দিনে রাতে দেখে দেখে বিচার করতে হবে নি, সব সময় বিচার করে তবে যাচাই করবি।
অত বিচার না করে গুরুর চরণ ধরে ঝাঁপ দাও ভক্তি সাগরে।
ঠিকই তো।
ভক্তিতে মিলায় কৃষ্ণ, তর্কে বহুদূর।
মেদিমার্কা ভক্তি ভক্তি করিস না তো।
ওরে ওরে জ্ঞানের পথ বড় শক্ত, বড় কঠিন। ভক্তির পথই তো ঈশ্বর লাভের সেরা পথ। ওরে ভক্তিতেই তো মুক্তি।
তবে ব্রাহ্মণ শরীর না হলে সে মুক্তি হবেনি।
কেনে রে শালা, সবরই কি বাউন ছিল? সবরই ব্যাধের মেয়ে শূদ্রাণী, সেই পরম মঙ্গলময় ঈশ্বর কি বাউন কায়েত চণ্ডাল বেছে বেছে তার কৃপা বিলন, সর্বজীবে তার সমান দয়া। যিনি নিত্য তিনি ব্রহ্ম, যিনি লীলা তিনি কালী।
কালী কালো কেন?
দূরে তাই কালো, জানতে পারলে কালো লয়। আকাশ দূর থেকে নীল, কাছে গিয়ে দেখো কোনো রং নাই। সমুদ্রের জল দূর থেকে নীল বর্ণ, কাছে গিয়ে হাতে আঁজলা ভরে তুলে দেখো কোনো রং নাই।
ব্রহ্মই যদি কালী হবেন তাহলে তিনি পুরুষ না প্রকৃতি?
পুরুষের যোগেই প্রকৃতি সব কাজ করছেন, হনন পালন করছেন, এক বই আর নেই। যিনি পুরুষ তিনি প্রকৃতি, যা বিদ্যুৎ তাই বৈদ্যুতিক শক্তি। রাধা কৃষ্ণের যুগল মূর্তির মানেও তো ওই রে, ওই যোগের টানেই তো বঙ্কিম ভাব। তার নয়ন বাঁকা বাঁকা শিখি পাখা, বাঁকা শ্রীচরণ ভঙ্গিমা।
মানি না তোমার কথা, এগুলোর পেছনে যুক্তি নেই, আছে অন্ধবিশ্বাস।
বিশ্বাসের আবার চোখ হয় নাকি রে? বিশ্বাস তো বিশ্বাসী, চোখ বুঝে বিশ্বাস। অন্ধ হয় বল বিশ্বাস, না হয় বল অবিশ্বাস। তা যাকে বিশ্বাস করিস নে, যার কথা শুনিস নে, যাকে মানিস নে, তার কাছকে আসিস কেন?
তুমি আবার কি শোনাবে? তুমি কি কিছু জানো? নিজে কি কিছু পেয়েছো যে পরকে দেবে?
বেশ তো আমি জানিনি কিছু, পাইনি কানা করি। তবু যার কাছকে কিছু পাবার নেই, যাকে তুই লিসনি, যাকে তুই মানিসনি, তার কাছকে ছুটে ছুটে আসিস কেন?
কেন আসি
নরেন,
কেন আসি? তোমায় দেখতে আসি, ভালোবাসি তাই দেখতে আসি।
Love, dedication. God is there in you. Search within yourself.
Whatever you say, sir, you need to have money. No money, no honey.
No honey without Swamiji's religion. Yes.
Swamiji's religion.
Well, it's Vivekananda's religion. In ancient religion, an atheist was someone who didn't believe in God. And in modern religion, those that don't believe in themselves are atheists.
That means those who don't believe in themselves are atheists.
And the faithful are the ones who believe in themselves.
Well, actually, the value of the terms faithless and faithful is not on God. It is on self-confidence. No self-confidence, no honey.
So why religion at all?
You forgot already? What did he say at the Parliament of Religion in Chicago?
He said we accept all religions as true.
As a simple example, he said, as the different streams having sources in different places all mingle their water in the sea, So, O Lord, the different paths that men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to Thee.
I remember
I missed the class.
Yes, I know, you were busy.
Why did Margaret come to India?
Oh, it wasn't easy for her. In fact, Swamiji warned her. He wrote to her on 29 July 1897. Swami Vivekananda wrote from Almora. He was then staying in Badri Shah's house. He wrote, "Obstructions are many. This country's sorrow, truth, malpractices are of an unimaginable level. India cannot yet produce great women. She must borrow them from other nations. Your education, sincerity, purity make you just the woman wanted. Yet the difficulties are many. You cannot form any idea of the misery, the superstition, and the slavery that are here. You will be in the midst of a mass of half-naked men and women, with quaint ideas of caste and isolation, shunning the white skin through fear or hatred, and hated by them intensely. Then the climate is fearfully hot, our winter in most places being like your summer. In the south, it's always blazing.
And what could she change?
She showed the path. She started a school for girls.
But she could not change our minds.
Oh, she did that. The same year in May, plague became epidemic in Calcutta. The British government imposed the Segregation Act. The city's poor laborers came to dominate Calcutta's physical space, living in overcrowded bastis. The outbreak of plague epidemic pitched the laboring classes against the industrial and commercial concerns. From the last days of April 1898 until the end of May, Calcutta's elite and authorities were seized by a terror of the lower orders. The colonial authorities tried to forcibly implement regulation. The government secured the loyalties of the city's Bhadralok by making different arrangements for the people of better classes. Amidst the exodus of the richer inhabitants, Sister Nivedita came to the streets with a broom. "Clean," she ordered. Seeing a white lady with a broom, many joined. She published an appeal in the Statesman and raked up public funds. The Ramakrishna Mission published a handbill. She showed the way.
She took a great risk.
Then, what happened?
There is a difference between risk and calculated, deliberate risk. Sister Nivedita and Swamiji left for Europe. On the 1st of August 1900, Swami Vivekananda arrived in Paris to participate in the Congress of the History of Religions held on the occasion of the Universal Exposition. Do you know who all he met? No? Besides Jagadish Chandra Bose, the Indian scientist, he met Hiram Maxim.
Machine gun inventor?
This, of course, you know. Now, in a letter to Mrs. Old Bull, Sister Nivedita's friend, on 22nd October 1900, Swamiji wrote, "Mr. Maxim of the gun fame is very much interested in me, and he wants to put in his book on China something about my work in America." Sir Hiram Maxim wrote at length of Swamiji's appearance at the Parliament of Religions.
Unbelievable. Machine gun inventor and Swamiji.
And Jagadish Chandra Bose came because Swamiji had instructed Sister Nivedita. She had transcribed in English all the research papers of this great scientist and sent him to the Science Congress.
Jagadish Chandra Bose and Sister Nivedita worked for each other?
I will tell you two facts about Jagadish Bose. You know, one, in 1902, Nivedita applied for a US patent on Swamiji's request. Dr. Bose received the patent in 1904. The credit goes to Sister Nivedita.
Invented the radio?
Not really. He invented wireless telecommunication. The Mercury coherer, a radio wave receiver that was used by Marconi to build an operational radio.
And the second fact you mentioned?
Oh yes, India's first agro-scientist, Dr. Bhupenmdra Sen, he was so poor that he could not have continued his studies. Sister Nivedita took charge. After graduation, she sent him to Jagadish Chandra Bose. Bhupenmdra became famous, and during the famine of 1943, he established a laboratory. In 1974, the government of India declared this lab as the main research center of the ICAR. This enabled the country to increase the production of food grains by 5 or 6 times actually, horticultural crops by 10 times, fish by 17 times, milk by 10 times, and eggs by 53 times.
And she helped. So both Jagadish Chandra Bose and Bhupenmdra Sen owe to her.
Yes. Why, today many eminent scientists owe her a deep sense of gratitude. You've heard of the Indian Institute of Science?
Of course, in Bangalore.
It was Jamshedji Tata's contribution to our country, but it did not happen easily. The British thought it was not worth it because India will never have such talented students. Sister Nivedita took up the cause and wrote, "We had our universities commissioned lately, which had done its best to kill all education, especially of science education. This is the point in the wrongs done to India that fires me. The right of India to be India, the right of India to think for herself, the right of India to knowledge." The British had to bow down. The rest is history.
So, Sister Nivedita is the only woman guided by a guru?
No, Swamiji used her as his torchbearer, as the arrow in his bow. And have you ever been to Belur to see Kumari Puja?
No, sir.
Heard it from my parents.
Another revolutionary act of Swamiji. Now, to know the reason and what it stands for, you need to read a little history.
Now from science you're asking us to read history.
Yes. The time the religious fanatics adhered to their own beliefs and superstitions. Between 1815 and 1818, Sati in Bengal doubled. Raja Ram Mohan Roy vowed to oppose Sati after his sister-in-law died by jumping into the pyre of his brother, Jagmohan, in 1811. Now, William Carey and reformers like Ram Mohan Roy forced the British Governor-General Lord Bentinck to ban Sati.
Oh, horrible, sir. Burning alive Hindu widows.
Yes, but our attitude had to be changed with an example. We have many women gods, yet women were not given the pride of place.
Even today, there is disparity.
Rubbish. You have equal opportunities.
And what? Huh? Tell me which country has the highest female infanticide? India. The highest female feticide incidence in the world.
Shame, sir.
And Swamiji wanted to plant an example that could influence the mass. He initiated Kumari Puja at Belur Math in 1899. His guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, believed that little girls were manifestations of the Divine Mother. An incarnation of Shakti is the most pious and popular form of mother worship. Now in Bengal, elderly people addressed young girls as Ma out of affection. Durga is Uma. She returns home to her parents every year. Thakur said to look upon God as mother is the purest and the highest form of sadhana.
But that did not stop, did it?
I'll come to that later. But see this first. You must also learn from every corner, every incident that happened to him. Here we go. Roll Sienna Victor, Juliet 64861.
Vivekananda learned many lessons from ordinary people. One evening at Khetri, on 10th May 1893,
the Raja had arranged an evening of entertainment when a young Nautch girl, as they were called in the 19th century India, began her recital. The monk stayed in his room. Deeply hurt, the lady began to sing a song by the famous blind poet-singer Surdas of Mathura, who lived between 1483 and 1563. As if addressed to this young monk, it appeared as a philosophical reproach against the arrogance of virtue. Even God does not make a distinction between a sinner and a saint. Why do you? Do not look at my evil qualities, Lord, but at the purity of my heart. Hardly had she sung the first notes of the song with pain in her heart, then the sannyasin came down and sat in an attitude of respect. The look of hurt in the girl's eyes on being despised and insulted haunted the young monk for many years. She led him to serious self-reflection.
एक जीवा एक ब्रह्म कहावत सूरदास झकरो एक जीवा एक ब्रह्म कहावत सूरदास झकरो.
Sir, what was Sister Nivedita doing?
Nivedita's involvement in nationalist movement increased. She was shadowed by British detectives. Her letters were intercepted. She even used codes. But she was determined to finish the moles who were after her. She even designed a flag with a thunderbolt. Sri Aurobindo wanted that flag to be the national emblem. Many aggressive young students interacted regularly with her. They were either from the Dawn Society or Vivekananda Society or Young Men's Hindu Union Committee members.
And Swami Vivekananda allowed her?
Well, he had prepared her to meet her adversaries on equal terms.
Was Swami Vivekananda a revolutionary?
Absolutely. In his own way he was. Not the revolutionary you think of, but his brother Bhupenmdra was a revolutionary. He held close associations with Sri Aurobindo and Barindra Ghosh. He was arrested by the British police under the charge of sedition and was sentenced to 1 year's imprisonment in 1907, and Sister Nivedita arranged for his bail. He also became the secretary of the Indian Independence Committee, Berlin, that's right, in 1960, and held the charge till 1918. You know, there were many you ought to read about. Khudiram was only 18 years, 8 months and 11 days old when he was hanged. Now, I'm sure I'll see blank faces when I mention Karainal Dotto and Shutten Bose. Both were hanged. There are many unsung heroes who died very young.
Sir, and the question, why do great men die young?
Now you've got me. I don't have the answer. Perhaps they can feel they've completed their God-assigned work.
How old was Swamiji?
Just 39 years old. On a July morning of 1902, Nivedita comes to Belur Math. Swamiji wishes to feed her. He gives her boiled jackfruit seeds, boiled potatoes, rice and iced milk. After she finished, he washed her hands himself. Nivedita said, "What are you doing? I should be serving you instead." Swamiji replied, "No. Jesus Christ washed his disciples' feet." Nivedita knew the end was near. 4th of July, in the middle of the night, someone knocked at Nivedita's doors. She opened the door to find a letter from Sharod Ananda. Sister left for Belur Math. Nivedita requested the brahmacharis to see. Swamiji lives in our hearts. Sister Nivedita was only planting the seeds that would one day bloom. She was following Swamiji. There is no need for any set programs for upliftment of women. Give them education and leave them free. They will work out the solution of their own problems themselves. Now think. You'll understand why I am here searching for him.